The day 48. Today, as yesterday, I start this video from reading my journal. So today I wrote this piece of paper. Yesterday I asked, why can't I be the same person here and there? Meaning that there's a big difference between me talking to the camera and me thinking. Later in the day I had many ridiculous ideas growing out of this question. One of them I want to develop here. So the idea is that I am driven by different emotions while I am thinking. Among them I can identify curiosity, wonder, enthusiasm, and all sorts of playful emotions. When I record my speech on the camera, there is another set of emotions, dominated by anxiety, the desire to get approval, fear of mistakes, of being weird or misunderstood. Moreover, I have overly high standards. I want my English be as brilliant as my Russian. I had spent more than 5 years studying and writing poetry. I perceived myself as a poet for many years. It was the core of my identity, and I sacrificed all other ambitions to climb the poetic Olympus. Later, I was cured by Russian realists like Dobrolvubov and Pisarev, so I could leave my metaphysical castles in the air and return to normal life. However, I am still biased to judge all forms of linguistic expressions mostly by their form. The content is far less important for me, and my current English form is below that which I had at 2011 in my Russian. Even though I'm working on my English non-stop for almost 4 years, compared to my Russian development, I am too bloody low. But I'm growing, of course, and sooner or later I'll be where I want to be in terms of my ability of self-expression. It is not an unattainable ideal. It is something that I already have, but in a different dimension. So perhaps I need to think about how to put certain emotions into work, how to transform my anxiety into fighting mood. So, this is a nice beginning of the day. As I said, this idea came to me yesterday, so I was puzzled by this difference and I tried to figure out what can I do to minimize it. And then emotions. Yeah, exactly. Here, when I speak to the camera, I have different emotions than when I think. And when I think, nothing forces me to do that. So I do it almost like in a natural way, almost automatically. Whereas when I stand here talking to the camera, I am forced by my desire to get better at English, to exercise my power, to exercise my ability to speak, to learn to speak better, to work on certain tasks like, improving my pronunciation, improving my grammar, improving my ability to make pauses, to finish sentences, to speak slowly, and all sorts of other things. Like, for example, yesterday I had this idea of training my assertiveness and training my articulation. One of the most irritating problems which I have in my speech is that when I compare myself to native speakers, I see that my speech is almost like I don't make stresses. It's hard for me to think in English and speak in English simultaneously, so I need to focus my attention not particularly on the content, but mostly on the form. And when I make sentences, when I say something in English, it requires me a certain amount of energy to understand what I am talking about. And I don't have this, let's say, attention, or I don't have an opportunity to focus on the content and make stresses in these sentences. So whenever there's a need to explain something, I am obsessed with the grammar, with my ability to express it with perfect grammar, and I lose this ability to stress certain words in a sentence, even though I'm training. But again, the idea is, how do I train these things? What am I doing? I'm just talking to the camera, and I set a certain goal. I need to make stresses on certain words in a sentence. So I know the difference between, for example, function words and content words. What are the function words? Function words, it's all these: this, that, it, pronouns, prepositions, and the other. And function words are basically verbs and nouns, and they must be stressed in a sentence to make speaker understand better what we are talking about. And for me, it's kind of difficult to simultaneously observe, like to simultaneously think about the stress, the content, and the grammar. And when I do these exercises, when I try to focus just on one thing and practice it and get better at it, it works perfectly well. But all other things are abandoned at that moment. So when I speak, for example, about grammar, I usually don't think about the content. When I speak about my daily routine, I don't think a lot about grammar. I try to focus on the best possible description of my daily routine. And this goes on, and it's so bloody profound. But anyway, it's like I want to get back to this note which I made in my journal. There's a distinction between me talking to the camera and me thinking. Whenever I think, I mostly experience positive emotions, and I'm driven by positive emotions to develop some fancy ideas which I had in my mind. And when I speak to the camera, I am driven mostly by negative emotions. So it's like I'm driven to speak by positive emotions. When I want to speak, I know what I'm doing, I know why I'm doing that, and it's fun. But when I start speaking, there are all sorts of negative emotions coming to the process, and I have a little control over them. So, for example, when I mentioned such emotions like anxiety, now I feel anxious, even though it's not seen clearly when I watch a video after I record it. I don't see all these emotions, but I still feel it inside. And it dominates most of the content which I produce. So I know that to get, for example, subscribers and to make people watch my videos, I need to put another set of emotions here. Nobody is willing to spend their time watching somebody who is anxious and trying to get rid of his anxiety. So I need to put some, wonder, surprise, curiosity, all these positive emotions here. Or I need to learn how to control my anxiety. So if I'm anxious, of course, I may speak with anxiety, but I shouldn't allow this emotion, anxiety, to overwhelm my consciousness and just just dominate everything what I say. And eventually it gets worse, since I can't speak clearly about my ideas, my thoughts, since I'm motivated by wrong emotions. And again, there's a difference. And then when I judge my videos, I watch, for example, what I recorded, and I start thinking, okay, whether it's made good or bad, let's say that way. And I see many videos, and I see myself talking in a different way than I think, and I judge it from the position of me who thinks. So since I'm thinking for like most of part of my day, and I'm talking to the camera just 15 minutes a day, I am biased to judge what I'm doing here from the point of view of me, like, who thinks. And this is a big problem, since it's a natural process. When I talk to the camera, I just do it for a certain purpose. So I want to improve my language. I know that speaking helps me to improve my language. I know that I want to speak about things which aren't important for many other people. That's why for me it's better to make a conversation with myself instead of making conversations with other people. And of course I don't want to bother other people with my silly ideas or thoughts. And that's why, and I want to talk a lot. I don't want to, have a conversation with people once a week. I have conversations with people at the speaking club once a week, twice a week, and I have some people with whom I can communicate on the internet. But it's still not enough for me. I want to practice more. I want to practice my English, not just few hours a week or 15 minutes a day. I want to practice it more. And that's why I need to talk to myself. I need to learn how to be authentic and persuasive while talking to myself. And this emotion, of course, when I judge it, I judge from the standpoint of thinking, but I don't judge from the standpoint of speaking. Now, for example, I feel a little bit better, so I feel kind of not anxious. Well, I'm still anxious a little bit, but mostly it's no longer anxiety. It's something else which dominates the speech. But the desire to get approval, it's so powerful. And I can't do anything with that, even though I think I need to do something with that. I need to be real. I need to speak in the same way as I speak to myself. I mean, there's two different types of speaking to myself. When I record audio, when I use an audio recorder and I talk to myself and I know that I will not publish it, I am another person. I'm calm. I don't care. I just speak as if I were thinking. And when I speak to the camera, I know that I will publish it. And I know that the more mistakes I'll make, the worse it's gonna look. And again, people will judge me, even though nobody cares. Still, there's this feeling, and I want to eliminate this feeling. And by now, I don't know exactly what I need to do, but again, just more practice, studying emotions. Yeah, I decided that I'll study emotions in depth, so I probably will make next few months of speaking clubs. Like all of them will be dedicated to emotions. So every week we'll take one emotions like greed or envy or lust, wonder, surprise, whatever, and we'll talk about it. And then I'll study deeply and understand how they work. Oh man, 14 minutes. It is too fast. Damn it. Now I need to talk about 5 definitions which I memorized this week, and then I'll finish this video. And I didn't say anything again, but anyway, it was just a funny brain gymnastics. First definition is wealth. Wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets or physical possessions which can be converted into a form that can be used for transactions. The second definition is a market economy. A market economy is an economic system in which the decisions regarding investment, production, distribution are guided by the price signals created by the forces of supply and demand. The third definition is post-scarcity. Post-scarcity is a theoretical economic situation in which most goods are produced in great abundance with minimal human labor needed, so that they become available to all very cheaply or even freely. The fourth definition is the definition of envy. Envy is an emotion which occurs when a person lacks in others another's superior quality, achievement, or possession, and either desires it or wishes the other lacked it. And the fifth definition is greed. Greed or avarice is an uncontrollable longing for increase in the acquisition or use of material gain, such as food, money, what else? Land, or social value, such as status or power. So these are 5 definitions. Yeah, I got it. I have just 30 seconds more to finish this video. Yeah. So I'd like to focus on emotions and learn how to control my emotional state while I'm talking to the camera, and how to be real. I don't want to pretend that I'm a different person, that I'm smarter, or that I'm, better by all means. I want to look and see myself, not somebody else. So now it's all. See you next time.